Good evening, dear friends. This is Efrat from Jerusalem. Thank you so much for being with us, being all together in this gathering every week, in this vigil for the Middle East. Tonight, I will not bring an event from the reality, but actually a different point of view, as an attempt to look at Israel as an entity and trying to identify its characteristic in a way. So I can say that if we can identify a core or a characteristic or a narrative, it's this one of separation. And we can see in every event, every reality, every event, everything that happened. If someone says something, if something happened, immediately without any thought, without any waiting, we can hear at least two voices. And these voices are concerning every issue, every area, every tissue, either it's emotional or logical or mental or cultural or political. So I put it here tonight for us to ponder on. Thank you.
Yeah. So we are looking at division, which is the most prevalent quality that we have now, if we can call that quality. And it's inside the country. And I am trying to look a little bit around Israel, what is happening. So I'll focus on one attempt that I got. I began to look into an attempt made in the region to kind of slow down or temper a division between enmities. And I'll take now Turkey and Syria. They have been in war for a long time, at least a decade, if not more. The Turkish president, Erdogan, and the Syrian president, Bashar al-Assad, mediated by Russia, recently signaled their interest in restoring diplomatic ties that have been ruptured for so long. And despite the complexity of the relations and the major disagreements between those two neighbors, those two countries that are neighbors, they begin to see the overlap of interests and see the damage that has been done in this conflict that they are going through. And this decision of renewing at least diplomatic relations, which means coming to agreements. And I read somewhere that in the long run, the logic of the situation dictates Turkish-Syrian collaboration in some form. They are neighbors. They are stuck with each other. And this current stalemate does them no good. And sure, they are far from reaching a harmonious balance. But still, we can witness the increased dialogue that can lead to agreements between the two sides. So, is it a counterbalance to the division that we are seeing and that we are experiencing? Maybe so. Yeah, so this is the voice from around Israel, Syria, and Turkey. Over to you, Uta.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I could not unmute myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Jerusalemites, for your update. And yes, I also perceive a tendency towards, what we call in our meditation another way. Small adjustments or small attempts to overcome this conflict. And as you said, a dawning understanding that this does not do good, that does not lead anywhere, to stay enemies. So let us continue holding this this possibility, this tendency to continue. Okay, so let's begin our work. Just relaxing into our inner being. Touching base with what is real in us and with the earth. Feeling our heart. And slowly now focusing our awareness in the center of the head. Let soul energy flood the personality. Standing as conscious souls in incarnation. Linking in with each other now and with our many colleagues of world workers in all nations. And sensing for a moment the flow, the heart bond between us. Sensing it pulsing. the will to love that we share. And let us now also consciously weave all our lights into a shared, lighted, clear space. And as observers in focused silence, let us now look at the Middle East. See it as a whole area. And identify within it Israel, within its present borders. Get a sense of the occupied Palestinian territory of the West Bank. Looking at the Gaza Strip. Egypt to the south. Jordan and Syria to the east. And Lebanon to the north. And all the other countries of the Middle East region around this. And now let us observe the current emotional qualities of this area and their interplay. Just observing this turmoiled emotional field. All these many emotional streams in great intensity. And observing now the mental forces at play in the area and also including those from outside the region. These impulses and their influence. The shifting power balances, the new alliances forming. And let us take a moment to observe this in its wholeness, this whole dynamic, volatile situation. And as we do so, let us endeavor to release all judging, just trying to discern what is. Okay, refocusing now for a moment as the planetary observer within our shared lighted space. And opening ourselves to the vibration of the higher co-workers who guide this work. Filling our group heart with the vibration of all-inclusive love. And within the aura of our higher co-workers, let us open now our consciousness to the divine plan and focusing in on that part of the divine plan that relates to the Middle East. To West Asia. Let us be aware of this region within the wider context of the planet. Perhaps getting a sense of this dark cloud still hanging over West Asia and Eastern Europe. Just observing. Trying to understand the wider context. Now, standing at the midway point between on high and the outer condition in the Middle East, let us now focus the higher forces of love and vision and act as a conduit for them. See and sense a shaft of pure golden white light, broad and brilliant, flooding the whole region. See a huge column of light pouring through all planes. Let us hold this column steady in the will to peace. See the light strengthen the thinkers who work for an inclusive vision for the area. And let us visualize such a vision slowly taking shape. Fully based on our common humanness. On the recognition that every human life is sacred. And let us hold this recognition on the mental plane of the area. Making it magnetic for others to pick up. And visualize the light now pouring through into the emotional sphere of the Middle East, touching the hearts of the inhabitants. Especially visualize the women respond to it. Opening gently towards love. Gently redirecting feelings of vengeance into the yearning for another way. Taking a moment to accompany this redirecting process with our love. Every human life is sacred. When we get this, when every human life is seen sacred, this can be solved. Seeing the light now pouring into the etheric physical plane of the Middle East, penetrating into the earth, disintegrating and dissipating the lingering patterns of violence and war. Dissolving all this old stuff. Leaving it behind. Let us hold space for another moment for this transmuting process going on within the pillar of light on all planes. Seeing it happening through all these planes, within all communities. This transmuting process. Visualize the possibility of a paradigm shift from harmony through conflict to harmony through synthesis. And hold this possibility in focus for the inhabitants of West Asia. And within this, let us visualize the dream of right relationships slowly dawning in the region. See a higher order based on right relations taking shape, happening in every nation and between all these nations and the religions. And let us affirm this possibility. And let us radiate it into the consciousness of the people in the Middle East and throughout the world, as we sound now the great invocation in Hebrew and in Arabic.
מנקודת האור אשר בדעת אל, זרום האור אל דעת האדם, ירד האור על פני האדמה. מנקודת האהבה אשר בלב האל, זרום האהבה אל לבבות אנוש. ישוב מורה עולם על פני האדמה. מהמרכז שבו נודע רצון האל, תנחה תכלית את רצונות אדם. תכלית אותה מורי האנושות יודעים ומשרתים. מהמרכז אשר נקרא המין האנושי, שם תוכנית האהבה והאור, ויחתם הפתח אל הרע. יהי רצון, ויחדשו אור, אהבה ועוצמה, לתוכנית על פני האדמה. אמן.
من نقطة النور في العقل الإلهي ليشع النور في عقول الناس وليهبط النور إلى الأرض. من نقطة الحب في القلب الإلهي ليتسرب الحب في قلوب الناس وليرجع معلم الكون إلى الأرض. من المركز الذي تعرف منها إرادة الله لتقود الغاية إرادة الناس البسيطة، تلك الغاية والتي يدركها المعلمون ويخدمونها. من المركز الذي نضم بالجنس البشري لينتج تسمين الحب والنور ويختم على الباب الذي يقيم به الشر، ليجدد النور والحب والقوة للتسمين على الأرض. الله أمين.